Everybody, welcome back to Live Free and Tool On. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Ryobi 1 Plus, which is the 18-volt battery, so it is cordless, 10-inch sliding miter saw. This is a highly anticipated tool, and I have wanted one for a long time. So today we're going to go through the unboxing. We're going to take it to its limits. We're going to see what the capabilities are, how ergonomic it is. You know, is it actually powerful enough to do the jobs that you want it to do? Today, we're going to find that out, so stick around. All right, let's give this a shot here. As always, Ryobi packages things pretty well, but this is a big box. This is one of the bigger tools. So we have our manuals right here. This is the user manual. It looks like this is for the battery and for the charger. Yep. So these are pretty standard. We're going to put these over here, but we'll read every page of them. We promise. So right off the top, we have a few things in here. This looks like a handle right here. This is the clamp that holds wood down. And it looks like these are the two handles and wood mounts for the side of it. And this is our dust bag or sawdust bag. Let's go ahead and pull this off. All right, and here it is in all of its saw glory. Now I'm going to put out one thing. The reason why this was so anticipated is because this isn't the first cordless 10-inch miter saw that they've came out with, sliding miter saw. They had another one that was a 36 volt, which is a dual battery version, and people loved it. I'm not sure why they discontinued it, but I'm really glad that they have this now. And this is an HP tool, so we get better technology in it as well. So we'll see how this does. But first, let's get it unboxed. I'm taking everything with me here. This packaged really well. This took a minute to get out of the package, but it's all good. This button right here is the blade lock. So you will turn it until it snaps into place. What that does is that allows the blade to stop and lock, so you can actually turn and take the blade off over here. I've already checked the blade and it is tight. But before we get to cutting, we actually need to make sure that this is true plumb and it's level and the degrees are correct. So let's do that. We'll use it with speed square. Okay, so first what I want to do is we'll take a look at the back. So this is level. We'll go straight up. This is square, so this is a really nice square. We'll make sure that both sides are. Okay, so that's great. It is actually square. Now, what we want to do is push the blade all the way back. We'll make sure this is level here, so this is flat. And I'll pull this all the way up so you can see it. And what I like to do is go right here, just about there. And look at that. The blade is actually plumb, so it's straight up and down. This is great. So one thing I want to point out while we're here is that you do have this extendable fence here. Now this is for trim if you're doing crown molding and other things like that. And that allows a more flat surface. You have a better stability for cutting, and this is awesome. And as you can see, it does have some measurements here. So you can see from your actual cut to what the measurement is over here, up to 9 inches. So you can do quick measurements. So we're going to push this back. We're not going to use that today. Now this does have a 45-degree bevel in the back right here. We're going to loosen that, and what that allows this to do is actually move sideways. This goes up to 45 degrees, and let's just see how accurate that is. So we're going to hold this back. Let's pull this down. Remember, do not have a battery in at this point in time. Okay, so this is actually 45 degrees, so that's great. So we're doing a lot of good checkouts right now, and it says 45 degrees here, and that's where it locks out at. which is great. So you need to make sure wherever you put it at, zeroed out 45 degrees, 30, 15, whatever, what have you. 33 degrees is pretty common, that you make sure you tighten everything back up. And you always check with a speed square or another measuring device. So everything's checking out so far, so good. Okay, so whenever we cut, I just want to point out, this actually has instructions on how to cut. And what it says is that you bring it out, you bring it down, you cut it, you push it back, and you bring it back up. And that's the proper way for using the saw. We do have the 4 amp hour HP battery fully charged right here. But before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So you do have, this is your angle of your cut. And this actually goes to 47 degrees, not just 45. It gives you a little extra cutting abilities if you need to go past, which is really nice. Now, this is forged in here. This is not a sticker, so this will always be here with your degrees, which is super nice. Now, you do have a quick change, which all you have to do is pull up this lever right here, and then you can move it back and forth, and it does have detents for different states. So like 15 degrees, there's a detent, 22.5 degrees, 30 degrees. So if it says the degree here, it's going to be a detent. But if you need to go in between to another degree, all you have to do is tighten this handle. It's not going to go anywhere, and you'll get that accurate cut there. So that's really nice. But for our purposes, we are going to leave it on a 0 degree cut. We're going to go ahead, make sure that we have our safety glasses on. You don't want to lose an eye. We're going to put the battery in. So one of the really cool features about this saw is how it indicates where the blade is at. Now, what I want you to do is pay close attention right here. Do you see that shadow? The reason why they put the light where they did is so that you can actually see the blade, and the shadow is the indication of where the blade's at. So that's why this is perforated, because it shines the light through, and you do have an indication of where that blade is at. So when it comes down, you have a super accurate cut like this. So what if we took this and we made a line just like so, and it had to be perfect, right? So we make our line, we indicate which side we actually want to make the cut on, but we have to make sure, and how people typically do that is they'll just put the blade right down on it, right? And that's okay, but sometimes, depending on how fast you want to do it, you can take this light, put it right down, and look at this. So you can see exactly where that blade's going to be going, and it's going to cut right on the right line. So we want to cut just on the side of the line where the mark is at. Let's go ahead and make that cut. So this made the cut exactly where I wanted it to be. So accuracy is actually really nice, and you can see where that's going. And you have a really nice light so you can see your pencil marks. So this is a super clean cut right here, as you can see, and I don't know how well you can actually see it, but there is no rough cuts there. Let me take out the battery. And the reason why, because this comes with a 40 carbide tooth, 10-inch blade standard. All right, let's go ahead and test it out on a 45. So here's Now this says it has the ability for a 12-inch crosscut. Now I don't have any 2x12s, but I do have this 1x12. So we're going to lock this down here. Okay, so that's not going anywhere. We'll do our crosscut. Now what this means is a 12-inch crosscut is that you're cutting across the grain, not with the grain or an angle. So this is going to be a straight cut. So here we go. So we had no problems cutting that at all. This is a really smooth cut. So, well, I guess there's some truth in advertising right there. It did make the cut. No pun intended, maybe. Okay, so this begs the question, what can it actually do? So this is a 4x4. True dimensions, 3.5 by 3.5. It's wet, it's dirty, but I really want to test this out, and I want to see how far of a cut I can get on this particular 4x4. So let's try and give this a cut, and we'll see how deep and how many cuts we have to do in order to make a sever of this particular piece of wood. All right, so I was a little skeptical, but this cut straight through the 4x4. If you were to use a circular saw, this would have taken 3 cuts in order to get around it. All right, so I want to try something a bit crazy, but I want to see the capacities of this. So I'm going to take this 1x12, and I'm going to stack it up. Let's see how well this machine can actually cut. This is 4 inches by 12. So so look at this. So what I found is that, see this back here, the dust collector actually hits this. Otherwise it would have traveled all the way and it would have made that cut. Okay, so I actually took the dust receiver, whatever you want to call it, off completely. So we're going to slide this down. All right, let's try and make another cut and see how this goes. Here we go. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at that clearance now. Plenty of clearance. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. It cut it. It cut it all the way through. Can you believe this? Look at this huge cut. Can you believe what this actually did? Look at this cut. All right, let's make a bevel cut. This is really cool. Look at this. It's actually light compared to most of the other sliding miter saws that I've used. I mean, this thing is super easy to lift, super easy to store. You can carry it with just one hand if you really want to. I mean, it's not a big deal to just carry it wherever you want to. So I've shown you a really good overview of the capabilities of what this can do. With a single battery running off of 18 volts, you saw that this has tremendous capabilities of cutting 4 by 12. Actual dimensions, 4 by 12. That is simply awesome, especially in a mobile unit just like this. You know, it did actually collect a lot of dust. This is pretty full, so I'm pretty happy about that too. I put the dust collector on the back on the bottom of it, but you can see that this is a well-engineered, well-designed, and you know what? It's geared towards homeowners, but it also can satisfy professionals, and that's what I love about this, because there's your value. This isn't going to cost $800. It's not going to cost $600. And actually, a lot of the other cordless sliding miter saws like this, they cost a lot of money because they're geared for the professionals, and professionals can afford a bit more because that's an asset for them. And whenever homeowners get a hold of this, well, you know what? This is going to work for all of those really good projects. And it's also going to work for professionals. So the balance is simply awesome. I think you can get this for around $400 with sales. If you catch a good sale, you can get it for around $300. I would give this a double thumbs up. This is going to make my life a lot easier. So I can't wait to get out there and use it more on projects. I love doing the tool testing. I hope that you all like this. If you did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment as well. Hey, I will respond. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.